The day began like any other for the Smiths as they took their usual walk in the woods with Kyle, their adopted ex-police dog. However, something seemed amiss with Kyle. He appeared restless, as if searching for something. Kyle had been through multiple homes before finding his place with the Smiths. Being an ex-police dog, his keen sense of smell was a valuable asset, though his ability to express aggression was lacking. Despite his gentle nature, Kyle's training with his new partner, John, had improved his aggression response, making him ready to protect John with unwavering loyalty. While most service dogs are paired with multiple officers, Kyle formed a unique bond with John and refused to work with anyone else. Their connection was so strong that they remained on duty together permanently. John had hoped to keep Kyle after retirement, but his demanding schedule prevented him from providing the attention Kyle deserved. Upon adoption by the Smiths, Kyle adjusted well to his new family. He enjoyed ample exercise and found purpose in protecting his new home. Life seemed peaceful for the retired service dog until one fateful day when the Smiths stumbled upon something unexpected in their countryside home. The Smith family had purchased their countryside home with Kyle in mind, wanting to provide ample space for him to roam and explore. The surrounding fields and woods offered plenty of opportunities for Kyle to enjoy his walks, which Thomas would take him on every day. However, they soon noticed a change in Kyle's behavior. Despite his previous love for walks, Kyle began to lose interest in going outside. Thomas, perplexed by this sudden change, tried to coax Kyle out as usual, but to no avail. Initially attributing Kyle's behavior to adjusting to the new environment, Thomas hoped that Kyle would soon return to his old self. However, as weeks passed, Kyle remained disinterested in his walks and even lost interest in his food. Concerned for his dog, Thomas tried changing Kyle's food and even his dog bed, thinking maybe it was due to discomfort from his old joints. Despite their efforts, Kyle's behavior persisted, leaving Thomas puzzled and worried about his beloved dog's well-being. The mystery behind Kyle's sudden change in behavior would only be unraveled on their next walk, as Thomas and the family tried to understand what could be causing Kyle's distress. When Thomas took Kyle to the vet to address his concerning behavior and lack of energy, the vet reassured him that Kyle was in excellent health. Both Thomas and the vet were puzzled by Kyle's sudden change in demeanor. As they embarked on their usual walking route, Thomas noticed a significant shift in Kyle's behavior when they veered off the usual trail to explore. Kyle's demeanor changed dramatically, with his hackles raised and an increased speed as he pulled away from Thomas and darted into the woods. For some time now, Kyle had been displaying out-of-character behavior, but on this walk, he suddenly reverted to his former police dog instincts. Sniffing frantically, Kyle followed a trail that led him to a tree. Thomas, perplexed by Kyle's actions, tried to call him back, but Kyle remained frozen in place. In an attempt to coax Kyle back, Thomas offered him his favorite treats, but Kyle refused to budge. It seemed that something had triggered a deep-seated instinct within Kyle, and Thomas was left puzzled and concerned about his beloved dog's sudden change in behavior. However, Kyle's determination and discipline, instilled during his training, were evident in his behavior. Thomas, though perplexed and slightly annoyed, admired Kyle's steadfastness. Uncertain about what to do, Thomas decided to call John, Kyle's former partner. When John saw the call from Kyle's new owner, his heart skipped a beat. Concerned, he asked if Kyle was sick. Thomas explained that whenever they had searched for clues during their police work, Kyle was trained to sit and wait near any lead he found. Upon learning that Kyle was sitting at the foot of a tree at that moment, John grew anxious. He knew that Kyle's behavior indicated he had detected something unusual or dangerous. John advised Thomas to investigate the tree but to proceed with caution. Approaching the tree, Thomas noticed that the bark was loose. Realizing the potential significance of this find, Thomas refrained from touching the tree further, not wanting to disturb any potential evidence. Without hesitation, he pulled out his phone and made a call to report his discovery, his hands shaking slightly as he dialed a number. John was deeply disturbed and incredulous, immediately organizing forensics experts before racing to the scene. When he spotted the familiar cruisers, Kyle couldn't contain his excitement, running towards John for a reunion that would bring tears to your eyes. Despite the joyful reunion, John had a serious matter to attend to and quickly made his way to the tree. As John peered inside, his eyes widened in shock as he confirmed the gruesome sight Thomas had described. He knew they needed backup. Kyle had led them to a skeleton hidden within the tree. Everyone held their breath as the remains were gently extricated. Whose remains had they found? Thomas observed how much Kyle adored John. However, just as John was about to contact the station, someone stopped him. The skeleton turned out to be a life-sized human skeleton, but it was a fake. They laughed in relief, but the question remained, why did Kyle alert them to this situation? He should have been trained to distinguish between non-threatening and threatening scents. He came to the realization that Kyle's desire to see John was at the heart of his recent behaviors, which betrayed signs of loneliness stemming from missing his best friend and former partner. From the moment Kyle arrived, his gaze had been fixed on John, prompting the realization that perhaps this was never about the skeleton after all. Reflecting on their years of collaboration, John remembered the foolproof method Kyle used to capture his attention. Kyle must have known that there was no swifter way to draw John near than to sit and bark when he discovered something, just as he had been trained to do. As John bent down to scratch behind Kyle's ear, he peered into his loyal companion's brown eyes. Kyle's actions were a covert message to John, a silent plea from the partner he had missed so profoundly. The depth of Kyle's longing for their companionship drove him to devise a means of reuniting with John, his cherished friend. Even though Kyle hadn't seen John since he moved to his new home, he fondly remembered their days working together and remained loyal. John, still gazing into Kyle's eyes, was deeply touched by his unwavering loyalty and affection. He decided to linger at the scene a while longer, relishing the opportunity to spend some quality time with his former partner. As they wandered through the woods together, John could see the joy radiating from Kyle. Before parting ways, John made a promise to visit Kyle as frequently as possible. Looking back at him, John chuckled heartily. Kyle, wagging his tail with a goofy grin, continued to jump around with happiness. Kyle's previous lack of energy and enthusiasm vanished completely upon seeing John. He behaved like an entirely different dog. John felt a sudden pang of guilt and regret, but remained convinced that he had made the right choice. With Thomas at his side, watching Kyle's antics and laughing, John couldn't help but think what a clever old dog he was. This story serves as a reminder of how little credit we often give dogs, yet sometimes a dog's intelligence can be enough to save an entire family.